Hi everyone, Michael Phillips here, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a turtle cheesecake with homemade whipped cream. Let's get started. Before we begin, we're going to need a few supplies. We're going to start off with a large mixing bowl, a medium-sized mixing bowl. This will be for the whipped cream, a meat tenderizer, a Ziploc bag, a spatula, a measuring cup, a teaspoon and tablespoon, and a mixer. I'm using a handheld mixer. You can use a KitchenAid. I don't have a KitchenAid, but I hope to have one eventually. I'm on a budget, so today we'll be using a handheld mixer. The ingredients we're going to need today and we'll be using will be 4 8-ounce bars of Philadelphia cream cheese, the best, 3 eggs at room temperature, a cup of sugar, half a cup of sour cream, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Be sure to measure that correctly because vanilla is a very strong extract. For our toppings, we're going to be using pecans, and we'll be smashing these up. We're also going to be using hot fudge and caramel. You can use whichever, you could use fudge or you could use chocolate. I prefer hot fudge on mine. It's just a little bit more rich. Okay. We're not going to be making a homemade pie crust today. For time's sake, I like to buy a certain type of pie crust, and that's going to be Oreo pie crust. It gives it such a nice flavor when mixed with cheesecake. So I'm going to do an Oreo cheesecake and a graham cracker crust. The ingredients we have today will make enough for 2 cheesecakes. Just a warning, this product does contain nuts. If you do have an allergy, just remove them from the recipe. Let's begin with step 1. We're going to preheat the oven to 350 degrees, and we'll move on to step 2. We'll go ahead and put our 4 8-ounce bars of Philadelphia cream cheese in the mixing bowl, and we'll go ahead and start beating it on high. Now while I do this, I'm going to go ahead and add the sugar in. And I like to add it in little by little just to make sure it gets evenly distributed. Now that we got the sugar in there, that's step 1. Now for step 3, we're going to go ahead and add in the remaining ingredients. The reason why I don't add all the ingredients in at once is because I want to avoid clumps in the cream cheese, because it will make your cheesecake really clumpy, and we really want it to be creamy. So next we're going to go ahead and add in our 3 eggs. I'm going to just kind of add them in one by one if I can here. It's fine if you add them all 3 in at the same time. It's not really going to affect the mixture. I just like to add things in by themselves just so they get well mixed. Now notice I'm switching my blender from medium speed to high speed. It's okay to do that. We do want to keep beating it at high speed though, so we can keep giving it that creamy texture. Okay, I'm going to go and add in my 3rd egg. Now we'll go ahead and add in the vanilla. Oh, that vanilla smells so good. And now I'm going to add in the sour cream. Let me get a spoon here. Excellent. All right, now we'll go ahead and continue. Now, do you see how we're starting to get those ripples in the mixture? That's exactly what we want. We want to avoid the lumps. We're going to go ahead and put the pie mixture into the pie crust. That looks exactly like it should. Now I'm going to fill these pie crust up about almost all the way. I would say about a little over 3/4 of the way. And then I'm just going to kind of smooth it out a little bit. There we go. It's so nice having two different options, I tell you. You know, having the chocolate option and the graham cracker option, they kind of taste a little bit different, so gives it a little bit of a different taste to it. Alrighty. Okay. For step 5, we're going to go ahead and place the pie crust in the oven. We're going to bake these for 60 to 90 minutes. After about 60 minutes, you're going to want to check on it. It's going to be like a golden brown on top. Something that I want you to be aware of that's different with cheesecake versus regular pie. For a regular pie, you can check if it's done by placing a toothpick in there and seeing if there's a little bit of cake mixture on it. Cheesecake, you can't do that because it'll look like the cake's never done if you use that method. So what you really want to do is just bake it for 60 to 90 minutes. Just make sure it's golden brown on top, and that'll be enough to let you know that it is ready and settled. Okay? So now I'm going to put them in the oven. And that's it. All right, for step 6, we have taken our cheesecake out of the oven. And as you can see, there's a little bit of cracking. This is completely fine and completely normal when cooking the cheesecake at home. We're going to be decorating this with the whipped cream and the fudge and caramel and pecans at the end, so you won't even be able to see all of the cracking. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and let this cool in the refrigerator for about 6 hours. That way it'll become nice and firm. Now we're on to step 7. We're going to go ahead and get ready to top our cheesecake. So I'm going to use a Ziploc bag and beat the pecans, and I've already beat them a little bit, so we'll go ahead and beat them a little bit more. So that's exactly what we want to top it with. Okay, we'll go ahead and add some whipped cream, and as you can see, I've already added a little bit of whipped cream on here. The whipped cream just makes it way better, I think. Okay, now we're going to add fudge and caramel. And I'm just going to drizzle it over there. Now, as you can see, it's probably going to make a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. I can clean it up. Something you can do is probably add some parchment paper underneath, which I did not consider. But hey, we learn as we go, right? We learn as we go. I just like to use a fork to do this because it just gives it a nice little design. All right. Now I didn't put in the amount that you need of the fudge because this is really at your discretion. All right, so I went ahead and added the fudge. Now I'm going to do the caramel, and I'm going to do it a little bit of an opposite direction here. Probably hard to see that caramel in there, but that's all right. I can tell you this is gonna be delicious. All right, I think we're good on the caramel. Now we'll go ahead and add the pecans. I'm just gonna sprinkle them on there, like so. All right, a little bit more. And that is our turtle cheesecake. Feel free to leave me comments if you have any questions on any of this throughout this process. Please ask me and I'll be sure to respond. This is gonna be the perfect treat for a date night or even just a movie and maybe a nice glass of wine. So thank you for watching.